Controller versus wheel. Is it really a big difference? Is it substantially better with a wheel, or is it better with a controller? Are they equal, or are they not? Well, that was something that me, Kyle Rose, Eco Green GT from Kirith Esports, had to figure out. With the controller, no problem for the most part. There were a couple that were a little bit difficult, but the wheel didn't offer the benefits that I expected. In this video, we're going to try and beat my lap times with my steering wheel. We're going to start from the first license test all the way to the end. So here we go. You can see right here, this is my best time for the first challenge of the stop and go license test. But I was having a serious issue with my wheel oscillation. But whatever, we're just going to go for it. Try and adjust it here. You can see that I'm struggling. Not the greatest movement. Not a good look, really. But anyways, our first attempt, we get a silver. We don't even get an ace. I think we nailed it first time on the controller. Finally get it, but it's not quite as good as the previous one. So again, I'm already struggling to match the time of a controller. This is just a stopping test, and I'm already on my third attempt. Fail. This time, do we get it? Oh, we finally beat it. We are packing up. If we get a millionth better, we are packing up and moving on here. So anyways, moving on to B2 here. In the GTO, I'm not really paying attention here. As we did this all live on stream, I'm still messing with the oscillation on my wheel. Not ideal. We blow the stopping zone out of the water. One of the best attempts I've ever had here in the braking test. Moving in here, we are finally focusing on our braking zone, but we brake. Is this the good one? No, baby. All right, we match it exactly. What do? We count it. We move on. B3. Here we are. This nice sweeping corner was significantly easier on a wheel. Immediately blow the controller time out of the water. So we just checked that box. First attempt out. Moving on to B4 here in the Audi. There's a little orange car here, and kind of reminds me of like, orange creamsicle. Again, long sweeping corner. Easy clap. But we didn't beat our controller time. We missed it by a tenth. So we do it again. Boom. Beat the controller by a tenth. Not a bad attempt here. But as you can see, we're moving on to B5 now. Click the button, man. Okay, Tsukuba, no problem. Get in there. We don't beat the lap time. We are about 1/100th off the lap time. Finally get it. We beat it by 1/100th of a second. Not an easy one. Had a bit of a challenge on that one versus the controller. Anyways, moving on to the 370Z. Oh, did this get wild. But let's get in here and see how it is. Let's get the spins. Oh boy, do we love spinning in this car. But again, how about we do it again? Same exact thing. Take a little breather. And sideways across the line, but we only get silver. We don't even beat the controller time. Struggling with this one on the wheel versus the controller. Doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but after all, it was a struggle. But here we go, nailing it with the steering wheel. Get around the corner. Finally didn't loop it coming out of that tight corner. Whoa, getting a little sideways. Just barely beat it by a tenth. We're going to move on with that. That counts. That's right. So anyways, celebration. Let's move on to B7 here. Welcome to Trail Mountain, baby. Anyways, we're going to rev it up here. This is a track that was brand new. I've never been here before doing the license test. Always a goodie. It's slightly different. But luckily, through the license test, the missions, and everything else, get to learn the track pretty well. Anyways, here I think I was having an issue getting... No, this one I actually nailed, I think. Let's find out. Oh, this is an excellent turn in here. A little bit wide, but I think the thing was, I think I did beat my controller time right out of the gate here. Yes, I did. I beat it by a tenth, but I left a lot on the table, and it felt really good on the... I think I messed with my steering settings enough. Try it again. Smash it out of the park. Let's pack it up and bring it home. Let's get out of here. All right, moving on to B8. First license test here. Getting a little bit wobbly here at Mount Panorama, but I think we nail it here on the second attempt. Barely beat our previous time on the controller. Not a big difference here. That's the biggest theme I'm noticing. It's not dramatic between the steering wheel and the controller. I'm still struggling to beat these times too. This one, however, golded it. No problem. But we're trying to beat our gold time from the controller. And I struggled. I got stuck. Things got progressively worse. As you can see, we did not even get a gold repeatedly. We were having a really hard time. Right out of the gate, we nailed it. And then we couldn't even match that pace. Frustration got real. It set in. Disappointment at Honda Civic. Arguably one of the hardest tracks or most common tracks in Gran Turismo. Just keep trying. This is the run. Finally, you can see how many attempts we've tried at this point. But this was much harder for me on a wheel than on a controller for some reason. Get a nice turn in here. Finally get the exit just right. I mean, I've only done this track 10,000 times in Gran Turismo Sport like most people. Boom. Finally crawl away from this one. Just barely beating that controller time. That was tough. It was tough, man. So it's B10 here with the wheel versus the controller. Try again, baby. Failing on the wheel yet again. I think we did this one a few times. Didn't take us too long, but we get the gold. We beat our old time by a 10th. Fairly quick. So moving on here onto A1. Trying to drive on Tsukuba Circuit yet again. Blow that one out of the water. These long sweeping corners are significantly easier on a wheel. The controller is a little bit of a struggle, but once you figure it out, it's really not that bad. And you can see my times aren't significantly different on my first gold attempt with the wheel. So again, we beat this one just over a tenth, just under 2 tenths faster than a controller there on that one. Moving on to A3 here at Monza, we kind of blew that one out of the water right out of the gate, but I think I actually tried this again because I knew I was leaving a lot on the table. But we basically matched that time. I think we just bail after this one. No, we had to keep going. The punishment is real. We were leaving so much on the table. I think I was low on my friends list as well, so I knew that there was a lot in the table, but I just couldn't resist trying to improve that time. So we match our time exactly. You know, sometimes the universe gives you a sign. So you just kind of take that, you pack it up, you bring it home with you, and then you move on. So moving on to a license A4 here. Honda Civic. Tokyo Expressway. Much easier overall on the wheel. With the wheel, I could actually control the car tight. Look how I blow the controller time out of the water there. I could run much closer to the wall and have a lot more confidence not hitting the wall on that track there for that challenge. Significantly better on the wheel for A4. Let's see here. We're moving on to A5. Another good challenge here at Spa in the wet, mind you. Now, I love the way driving in the wet feels on a wheel. It was pretty good on a controller as well, though, as you'll see here. It's not like we blew it out of the water or anything. Get across the line. Still didn't match our controller time right out of the gate. Got the gold, no problem. But then we started to push, right? We were like, hey, we got to beat that controller time. We're still not getting it. We're sniffing. Man, it was harder than I anticipated. So anyways, we tried again here. Look at these water effects too. I just love the puddles. The cars actually, I feel like, handle pretty good in the rain. I'm actually a fan of this handling model. I think some people are complaining about it, but I like the way the cars feel overall when your force feedback settings are good. So we just barely beat that by a 10th. It was actually hard to get on the wheel, but the pace was there on the controller as well. So it is possible, like I said, to get very competitive times on a controller. So you can see I actually struggled on the first attempt here with this car versus the controller. Ascari, if you guys know me from Ascari here, it is a terrifying corner sequence for us from when I was racing over on BRT at Monza. So we beat our time by a 10th there. Just barely. Cruising through. Again, we're just barely beating these times. Now, I've done these tests already on a controller, so I know what they're like. And as you can see, we just lose control right out of the gate. First attempt. But after that, we kind of nail it. It's a big, long, sweeping corner. It's Barcelona. You know, that first sector is pretty easy on a controller. And it's pretty easy on that long sweeper is much easier on the wheel. So here we go on the truck. This is going to be hard. And I knew it would be a little bit more difficult than a controller on the dirt. But in that situation, we had the problem with the road tires. We didn't try it too hard. We just moved on. We actually did it later on stream. But anyways, you can see, you know, headlights making a quick appearance here. Frustration was setting in, trying to get that car out of the hairpin, just getting the right amount of throttle out. This one was really easy for me on the controller. Boy, did I struggle with a wheel on this one. So getting closer, we were having a hard time even getting gold on the wheel. Finally get it, but we're only 1/100th of a second off. So anyways, try again. Keep grinding until you get the W, man. And just, you know, saying hello to the wall again. It's best friend of mine anyway. So finally, look at this. We're 100th again. We are really good at matching the exact same time. Pushing harder this time. It's always a problem. You got to keep pushing. Anyways, as you can see here, we finally nail it down. Get into the hairpin just right. Car is very drifty, very loose. Easy into the corner, late apex. Steady on the throttle. Once the wheel is a little bit straight, then you can finally put the full power down and get across the line with a 16.893. We beat it! So that one was a little bit more difficult with the wheel for me. So here we go, A10, the final license test of the National A license. So it's the Supra, baby. Is that a Supra? Anyways, this one was a little bit challenging now on the controller. You can see how close I am to my lap time right there. Not quite getting it, not quite there yet. Pretty quick time on the controller. So again, 29, still not getting it. Losing control, starting to push harder now. Trying to figure out where the limit is of this car. Why am I struggling with this all of a sudden? Just absolutely no control of the vehicle whatsoever. This is Racing Line Basics test, as you can see me struggle with here. Turning into the corner, nice and slippy. The Supra does feel good. Once you figure out how these cars rotate in the game, it's actually quite satisfying, especially when you get the balance just right for getting the car sideways with the slip angle, hitting the brakes just right too, doing that late apex. Oh, it feels sweet, baby. And getting on the power just nice and steady. You can't just stab it in this game. You actually have to be careful with the throttle. So we get it there, 28.823. Finally beat the controller time. Move on. So we are doing well. That is the video for now. There will be a part 2. Further investigation of this phenomenon. What we'll do is we'll get the Super license, and a week from now we'll get another video showing you the struggles that I had on controller versus the wheel. My overall feelings, it's 50-50. There are some situations where the wheel is much better, and then there are other situations where the controller is easier. For example, the rallies are really significantly easier with a controller than a wheel, at least in this game, and it kind of feels abnormal that way, but either way, thank you all for watching. Kyle Rose with Kirith Esports. Have a wonderful evening. Hey everyone, I hope you like what you saw there. I'm now streaming on Twitch, so don't forget to check me out over there. It's EcoGreenGT over at Twitch, really easy to find. Twitch is the easiest way to find when I'm live next, but I also want to talk about my merchandise store. I have all this new merchandise on here. I try and update it regularly every couple months or so. I have a new design that I roll out. I put all this work into it. You don't see these designs anywhere else. But again, thank you for watching. I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to the channel down below. And if you're over on Twitch, go ahead and give me a follow. It'll be a lot more fun to go streaming over on Twitch. There's a lot more things to do during the stream, so I can't wait to see you guys there. Adios.